On Friday, the Mail and Guardian newspaper appeared on the streets looking like a newspaper under apartheid. Large chunks of the lead article and sections of an editorial were blacked out. Why? The newspaper says it was threatened with criminal prosecution and civil court action by presidency spokesman Maharaj, the man who faces serious corruption allegations in the story. Maharaj yesterday laid criminal charges against the newspaper. Today he tells us why. Maharaj, thank you for coming to the show. Firstly, why did you lay charges against the Mail and Guardian?
Well, let me first start off by saying, Justice, you're pretty imaginative and creative with the English language when you say that I want to send 2 journalists to prison for 15 years.
They will be sent to jail for 15 years if the charges that you have laid against them stick in court.
I want to defend my rights. If as a consequence of that they are in prison, that's a consequence, but that's not my desire. My desire is to defend my rights as enshrined in our laws and our constitution.
That information that you are laying charges against them for being in possession of, it's not your information, it belongs to the Scorpions. Why didn't you leave it to the National Director of Public Prosecutions to lay those charges? Why are you laying those charges?
Because the Mail and Guardian, has for the first time admitted it has in its possession documents that should not be in the public arena. And they affect my and my family's reputation. Now, I believe that in passing that law of the Prosecuting Act in 1998, we consciously took away some fundamental rights of our citizens, namely the right to remain silent, secondly, the right not to answer questions that may be self-incriminating. Thirdly, we brought a person to an inquiry literally blindfolded. In exchange for taking away those rights, we said that the law provides that what you say there will remain there, will not even be used in a court of law. Now, the Mail and Guardian has admitted it has those records. To get those records, you can only do so with the permission of the National Director. The Mail and Guardian, serious, experienced investigative journalists who have got more than 15 years experience. Why didn't they ask permission? If they had gone for that permission by obeying the law, like I have been obeying the law, then we are creating a culture. But I think that the Mail and Guardian has chosen to be above the law. And in doing so, it has not bothered whether it is trampling on my individual rights.
The editor of the Mail and Guardian, Nick Dawes, says you are laying these charges because you know that in that hearing you lied to the Scorpions, and therefore you're merely protecting yourself. This has nothing to do with your need to protect rights or to protect any of the freedoms that you describe.
That is a wonderful proposition that's usually put. It's getting a bit stale because in this particular case, Nick Dawes has gone on record to betray his real agenda. And I quote him. He says he hopes that the attention generated by this case, by my action, would raise public awareness about the threats to press freedom. He has gone on to say he believes that Section 41, under which I have charged him, is unconstitutional. Now, Justice, in 2003, I raised the question that Section 28 was unconstitutional. If we are serious about freedom, where was Nick Dawes, Sam Soul, and Stefan Brummer around that issue? And Judge Heffer, in the inquiry instituted by President Thabo Mbeki, said my rights had been seriously trampled upon through the leaks from the NPA. What happened about that? No, you ignored it. Today, Nick Dawes says 41 is unconstitutional. And he is using the attack on me to hide his own paper's criminality.
But now, Section 41...
The argument works both ways. You can't have it one-way street only.
Well, Section 41 also clearly shows that what you're invoking of it shows that we cannot come to public representatives, men like yourselves and women like your people that you work with, who represent and speak on behalf of the president. We cannot hold up we cannot not hold up their deeds and say, Mr. Maharaj or Ms. So-and-so, you did this, and then we'll be hit with this law.
No, you can hold up our deeds. We are not above the law. But Section 41 is the counterbalancing clause to Section 28, which takes away the rights of the individual to remain silent and not to give evidence, not to incriminate themselves. And the guarantee for that is that it will not be used in court, and B, that it will not be disclosed. This is not a question of media freedom here. You want to investigate me, you are so. But do not go and steal state records that are closed.
But the Mail and Guardian did not steal those documents. You cannot say.
How do you know, Justice?
Well, how do you know that they stole those documents? But the point is,
well, let me tell you,
possession of information is not theft. If I get sent a letter today, I didn't steal it. I received it in the post or under my door.
Right. Let me answer your question. I'm very pleased that you're using the under the door excuse, Justice.
It's not an excuse. Usual excuse. That's where journalists get a lot of the information.
No, please give me a chance to explain.
Yeah, go ahead.
You said possession is not theft. Now, let me tell you, the law says you must apply for permission. If something is put under your door and you read it and you say, this is closed information, well, apply to the court, apply to the NDP and say, please, I've got this, I need your permission to have it. Why don't you do that? Why don't you live within the law? But secondly, when you receive something that you know is a stolen article and you propose to disclose it to the public, as the Mail and Guardian did, and I have the paper trail, they have not acknowledged it, even their lawyers have acknowledged it. So that is where they are squirming, hold on, and they are saying, no, possession is not a crime, but they possessed it and decided to distribute it. Now, that's clear. They knew they were distributing illegal stuff. You want to purvey stolen goods, and you say, no, I'm just possessing the item. Sorry, Justice, that doesn't work.
Well, the law
must work for everybody equally.
The big question really is the allegation that you lied to the Scorpions. Did you lie to the Scorpions, Mr. Maharaj?
The big question is, there is an investigation open. And you cannot treat singular acts when the Scorpions and various agencies of the state have been investigating this thoroughly extracted information from banks, from here, from abroad, everywhere. And they have found it that there is no charge to bring against me. Now, you are seeking to take one thing and say, here now, prove this only. No, Justice.
But the Mail and Guardian is in possession. The Mail and Guardian is in possession of documents showing that in a hearing with the Scorpions, you lied to the Scorpions. Did you, a man who speaks on behalf of our president, lie to the Scorpions?
I will answer that question in a properly constituted place, not in a place where you seek to assassinate a person's character by singular issues. I can turn around to you and say, how dare you use possession of an illegal stuff and defend that as a right of the media?
It's not the right.
How dare you do that?
Well, it's a right to say our public officials, people who represent us and speak on behalf of the president of our republic, need to be able to answer that they lied to the institutions of our country or did not lie.
I will answer in the proper place, but you cannot use possession of a stolen article to say you are in lawful possession.
Well, you are going to extraordinary lands, including charging
I'm not going to act.
journalists.
It's the police. I've filed my claims with the police.
No, but why didn't
They
you
have
leave
to
that to the
investigate.
NDPP to do? Do you have something to hide?
It's my
on this
right.
matter?
I'm defending my right. I'm defending my right.
Did you lie to the Scorpions?
No issue is the defense of my right. The issue, you are putting issues back forwards. And you
No,
want
but
to only load the dice in your favor.
we've discussed why you have laid the charges. Now I want to know the issue, and Nick Doss put it to you on Friday morning on a radio station. Did you lie to the Scorpions? He called you a liar.
Can the Mail and Guardian, who were going to publish, answer the first question? Are they covering up for their illegal act?
Well, they're saying they have information. The information says a highly respected, highly admired man who speaks on behalf of the President of our Republic lied to the Scorpions. Did you lie to the Scorpions? Answer the question.
My answer to that is I have broken no law.
You have broken no law. You did not lie to the Scorpions.
I have broken no law.
Well, the Sunday Times continues today with a story saying you have dodgy millions. They make allegations that Thales paid money into a bank account of a company called Mindali, which was owned by Shabir Sheikh, which paid money into your wife Zarina's bank accounts. Did you know that she received money from Mindali?
I'm very pleased you raised this question. The Sunday Times has chosen to write a big article. I had given them a response, and they've only published the first 2 sentences of a 8-sentence response.
Please give us
and my response says, hold on, my response says, we are not prepared to subject ourselves to a separate and additional investigation by a member of the media based on isolated aspects of a comprehensive investigation conducted by institutions established and empowered by the law to do so. The fact that the DSO did not bring any charges against either of us should make you alive to the fact that the insinuations and allegations you are making of unlawful conduct by us, implied by you, may once again result in making us the subject of character assassination. Why didn't you publish that?
Well, I don't know why they didn't publish that, but at that time that you were Minister of Transport, your wife received money from a company called Mindali owned by Shabir Sheikh, and therefore, and Shabir Sheikh was doing work on behalf of Thales, which 2 months later received work from your ministry and your department. Did you know that your wife was receiving money from Mindali?
Those articles, those issues, they are saying they have got it from the Scorpions, so the Scorpions were investigating it. They were not my friends. They had that information as part of their total investigation, and they did not bring any charges. Now, who are you to tell me that your capacity is better to determine the issue of whether there is a charge?
My capacity.
And who are you then to say, answer this singular act, isolated from the rest? I'm saying that information, the Sunday Times says, was with the Scorpions.
At the time that all these allegations came about and the Scorpions did not have a consultant agreement between Thales and Mindali. All we knew was that Mindali was paying your wife, Zarina, money into that account. Now we know that they
Why don't they take it and give it to the Scorpions? Just as you've told me, why don't I leave it to the NDP? Why don't they take it to the Scorpions?
Well, the Scorpions have been disbanded by your party, the African
No, but
National
there's an
Congress of South
institution
Africa.
still. There's an institution still to go to.
And which institution
That we
is
all
that?
have to live within the law. We are living in a democracy, not in the apartheid
Did
times.
you know that Thales and Mindali had a consultant agreement?
We have said we will not subject ourselves to an investigation on isolated aspects. We have subjected ourselves to lawful institutions.
Did you know that your wife, Zarina, has a foreign bank account in which money was paid by Mindali?
Not prepared to answer questions, not prepared to answer questions even though your name is Justice.
Were you paid a bribe, Mr. Maharaj?
I am saying to you, in the same way I can turn around and say, that article has many inaccuracies, but I'm not prepared to get into that debate where there is no properly constituted procedures and laws where I can defend myself adequately.
You're an honest man. You fought for the freedom of this country. For many of us, you're a hero. And you will not tell me whether you received a bribe in the matter between Thales, Mindali, and Zarina Maharaj.
I will not answer questions relating to a larger issue in an isolated way, and I will not answer them in a way where I have no rights to defend myself properly.
Did you receive a bribe? Did your wife receive a bribe on your behalf?
I said I will not subject myself to an investigation by any singular media agency when it is dealing with matters in an isolated way and outside of the comprehensive fact and does not put its information on the table. The police, when they call me and you, have a duty to put their information on the table so that they play open cards. You are not playing open cards.
I'm playing open cards. I want to know, is Zarina Maharaj, has she indicated to you if by any chance she's going to explain why Mandali was paying money into her foreign bank account and what that money was for?
If you are playing open cards, Justice, on what information are you basing your questions?
I'm basing my questions on the information that is fulsome that has appeared in the Sunday Times now and
so
in
you
2003.
you trust that information even though I say to you it has inaccuracies in it?
It has some inaccuracies in it, as you may allege, but
you trust it nonetheless.
The question that is on the table is that a bank account belonging to your wife received monies from Mandali, which was doing work for a company that received tenders from your department when you were Minister of Information, of Transport.
No, Justice. The question on the table is whether I corruptly took money and awarded a tender.
Did you?
That's the question.
Did you?
Do not reduce it to I have said no. But you persist in taking it to singular, granular issues and want to evade the larger issue. You must put evidence before a person and say, now answer, and you must have the power to proceed with the matter and give the person rights as well. Now, I forwent those rights in the law of 1998, and that is why possession of that information or any use of it by anybody without the permission of the NDP is an unlawful act. Now, if you are standing, as Nick Dawes says, this is an issue of press freedom. This law has been in existence from 1998 and it has been raised, and Judge Heffer has said it's being abused. What did you, in defense of your freedom, do as a responsible act to unearth that illegality?
Maharaj, we've run out of time. Thank you very much for joining us.